depression. I filmed one not too long ago. It was around Christmas time. I remember the tree was in the background. Um, but I wanted to do an update because this is such a big deal in my life. Since that video, my depression has gotten a lot worse. I have had at times even suicidal thoughts. I would never hurt myself and I don't want to die, but I have had thoughts of, you know, it would just be so much easier if I weren't here anymore, or I just want this pain and, this mental pain and anxiety and depression to just go away. So, um, and I met with my psychiatrist. Let's see, I actually met with him last week finally, after going through several weeks of just feeling hopeless, pointless, and going through utter despair. I met with my psychiatrist and talked to him about the fact that I was really considering inpatient psychiatric treatment, inpatient hospitalization. There's a psych hospital about 20 minutes from my house, and they offer like a 5 to 7 day intensive inpatient program, which I was really looking into as a possibility for me. I talked to him and he said, let's switch your meds up first and see if that helps, because I do have the little boys, my two boys at home, and I don't want to be hospitalized. I don't want to be away from them, and, unless it's the absolute last resort and it's what's best for me. So, we changed my meds. I was on Lexapro, and I'm now on Prozac and Abilify. It's been a week. I can tell there's been a slight, maybe a little bit of a difference in my mood, but not much at all. He did say that at our 1 month visit, so in 3 weeks, he would increase those meds. So I guess you have to increase them slowly. I'm not sure how that works. But he said that if that doesn't work, then at that time, he would recommend inpatient treatment, or if I got worse in the interim. So if I really was suicidal, or I was, really hurting myself or trying to kill myself or something like that, then obviously inpatient treatment would be the only option. So I'm really hopeful that these meds are going to work. I've been on every antidepressant under the sun. I've been on Prozac before, but only for a short period of time, like a few weeks, because I didn't like the side effects. And so now I'm on it, and I'm going to give it a really good try. Also, the Abilify, from what I can understand, I'm not really good with psych meds, but from what I understand, the Abilify helps to boost what the Prozac is trying to do in my brain, so to make the serotonin levels in my brain rise, and so it's supposed to help with that. So maybe adding in this other drug is going to help. They call it combination therapy instead of just monotherapy. So instead of just giving me one drug like Lexapro, now have two, the Prozac and the Abilify. So that's really helping. Now, I'm, like I said, in 3 weeks we'll review how I've been doing and what's going on, and at that point decide whether or not I need inpatient care, unless something comes up before then. Now, unfortunately, Chase's travel, my husband's travel, starts in a few weeks. Today is the 12th, and I believe he leaves on the 28th or 29th. I'm not quite sure, but he'll be gone for 3 weeks. It was supposed to be 29 days, and he said, well, do you think it would be better if I split it up into, like 2.5 weeks now and like 2.5 weeks later? And I said, yeah, actually that would be a really good idea, because when he was in the Philippines for 36 days, it absolutely killed me, So, and that was my big trigger for all of this that's going on now, the Philippines trip. Before that, I was okay. So, he leaves at the end of January, but he'll be back before Bentley's birthday on the 16th of February. So I think it's like a 2-week trip or something. I'm not quite sure. But a few days after Bentley's birthday, he leaves again to finish out that first trip, so for another 3 weeks. So he'll be back in March, and then he's here for like a month, and then he leaves in April for like 3 weeks. He's back in May, and then he doesn't have travel until July or August, I'm not quite sure, but he does have travel 5 times this year so far. That's just tentative. It could change, as in he could have to travel more. He won't have to travel less, but he could have to travel more. So that's really something that we're both working on and trying to figure out the best way to handle it, because that's really where I just lose it and feel the worst when he's gone. I really rely on my husband for support, emotional support, and I need to just, if you're out there and you're going through this, you really need to learn to rely on yourself and not someone else. Codependency is what it's called. For pleasure, for safety, for happiness, for all those things. It's great when you're married. You should rely on your husband or your wife for those feelings. But if you absolutely fall apart when you're away from that person, then that's codependency, and that's something that is not healthy, and it needs to be treated and taken care of, and it needs to be dealt with. Um, so, in order to do that, I'm working on doing things on my own. I have started to volunteer more. I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I'm a nurse and I volunteer at the free clinic for the homeless. It's every Sunday at my church, and it's a couple hours. I get out of the house, away from the boys for a little while, and I'm doing something good and something I absolutely love, which is nursing. I've thought about going back to work part-time, but right now with my mental state the way it is and with Chase's travel the way it is, it's a little bit difficult. So volunteering is kind of the best we can do, and it really does help. So getting out, volunteering, hanging out with my friends and family, which that's a big struggle, but the option is there. My friends are asking to hang out and trying to make plans to hang out with me, so I'm really trying hard. Now, in addition to that, just yesterday, and this is a big deal, I got out of the house. I took the boys to Target because they had gift cards from Christmas and Bentley needed clothes. So we went to Target for an hour and came home, and it was the first time I had gone out with the boys in probably 2 or 3 months. Seriously, 2 or 3 months. And it was a really big deal, and it gave me confidence that I could, live and I could do this without relying on my husband for that. So that's a really big deal. Now the breastfeeding part, because this is part of my breastfeeding journey, this is late postpartum depression with exacerbation due to my husband's travel. Um, so the breastfeeding part, these drugs are, they've not been studied in moms, so there's limited data. So they really aren't suggested. It's the risk-benefit ratio that I always talk about. Is it worth it for me to be on these medications, knowing that there could be, a 0.1% chance or something like that of the medication causing Bentley to have side effects, which would be, sleepiness or, being, I don't even know what the side effects would be really. It would be whatever mine are, and I don't really have any. So, is it worth it? And the answer is yes. I am so sick. I am so sick as far as my psyche that I need to be on these meds. Now, that being said, ever since I also haven't mentioned this, Christmas Day, I got mastitis and had to be hospitalized for 2 days because I got septic, which means it went into my bloodstream. And if you have sepsis and you don't treat it, or it goes undiagnosed, you can die from it. So that was a lovely Christmas present that I didn't ask for. I had to be hospitalized on IV antibiotics and fluids and for 2 days, and it was just horrible. It was so painful, and it was just absolutely terrible. So after that, my supply really took a hit. Mastitis can cause your supply to go down, so I was dealing with that and also starting these new medications. I don't really want him to have milk 24/7, or at least be exclusively breastfed 24/7 with me being on these meds. So my supply, like I said, has taken a hit. So Right now, I would say it's 50-50. I feed him 2 or 3 times a day, and then he gets like 2 or 3 bottles a day. So about 50% of the time, I'm breastfeeding him still. Um, and I'm happy with that. I'm fine with it. 3 or 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, I would have been absolutely in tears and broken down crying because he's on formula, and now I'm not. I know he needs it. He either needs my milk or formula, and it's better for him to have formula right now because of the meds that I'm on, but it's also good for him to still breastfeed, of course. So we do both, and I'm completely fine with that. Monday he'll be 11 months, so I've only got 4.5 more weeks to go until I reach my goal of 1 year, which will be great. And after that, I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll see. I may breastfeed him just once at night or once in the morning, and then just go from there. Get him off the formula, and what I'll probably do. I don't do cow's milk in the house. I don't know if I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I don't do cow's milk. We do almond milk, and Maverick loves it. I just like it because I avoid all of the, I don't like red meat as it is, but, even if you buy organic whole milk, cow's milk, it's just not, just do your research. You'll find out the reasons why I do almond milk. And you can do soy milk too. We tried it. Maverick absolutely had a terrible reaction. He had diarrhea and it was horrible. So, no soy milk for us. I've wanted to try coconut milk, but I haven't tried it yet. But he loves almond milk, so I'm going to do that with Bentley too. Bentley's already had almond milk all the time. And he's already showing interest in a sippy cup. I'd recommend starting a sippy cup as early as you can. Right now he's just trying to figure it out. He's sort of just like sucking on the spout, kind of playing with it in his mouth. He likes to chew on it. And so, but he'll get it. Eventually he'll get it. And if we have to give him almond milk in a bottle until he can learn how to use a sippy, that's fine. We did that with Maverick. But he was on a sippy cup probably at 13 or 14 months. We tried really, really, really early to get him off of it. I remember he was off his Binky and the sippy cup all by 15 months of age, or probably 14 months of age actually, 14 months for Maverick. So that'll be my goal with Bentley, and that'll be fine, I'm sure. But I wanted to, wrap this all up as part of my breastfeeding journey and let you guys know that postpartum depression is real. It's dangerous if you go untreated, if you don't get help, if you don't reach out. Use your resources. There are hotlines. Call your doctor. Talk to your friends. Just whatever you can do, because for me, sometimes it's like I just don't want to be here anymore. And like I said, I would never hurt myself or kill myself. Like the thought of shooting myself or something, just really makes me scared. But you get to the point where you get so hopeless that you just want it to all go away. So if you ever get to that point, you must reach out and call somebody, see a psychiatrist or your primary care doctor, and get help. Go to therapy. That's another thing I'm doing. I'm seeing a therapist once a week, and we're talking, and that's helping a little bit. But reach out and get help. I'll keep updating. I'll probably update in a couple of weeks after I see my psychiatrist again, and let you guys know if I had to go to inpatient treatment or not. And I'll also update on Bentley's birthday and how that's going as far as my breastfeeding journey. So, alright, well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Comment below if you need any help. If you're going through what I'm going through, I would love to hear from you. Just know you're not the only one, and there is help out there. You just have to get it. So, comment below, and God bless. Talk to you later.